Hi YouTube. I just wanted to put together a quick video. Quick in relation to a Stanley Cup Finals game. That's the standard I'm holding myself to. In all honesty, I don't think this will be quick at all. I have a few things I want to discuss. I want to start by giving you a bit of a channel update. A lot of people have been asking me about the spreadsheet. And what ended up happening was when I got back from Florida, I basically fell way behind on trying to get it updated. You come back and you're behind at work. And also, that's the time of year that youth sports begins in earnest. And it's not something I can kind of do in piecemeal, 15 minutes or half an hour at a time. I need to kind of set aside a block of time, 6 or 7 hours, and just kind of do it. And I just haven't had that opportunity. The good news is, well, before we get there, the whole point of the spreadsheet was to kind of get you guys in a goal-setting mindset. It's something that's always worked for me, is setting a firm goal and then working to achieve it and doing whatever it takes to hit that number. Spend the year breaking the year up into small increments and then just kind of letting it accumulate. Almost like a Pavlovian response to building your stack. And, for a lot of you, from the feedback that I've gotten, it's been a very effective tool, and that's fantastic. So the bad news is, yes, I'm way behind. And I know that some of you have dropped out and have lost interest. The good news is, though, for those of you that are still into it, my wife is taking my kids to Michigan next month. And so I will be living the bachelor lifestyle a little bit. And by bachelor lifestyle, I don't mean going out. I mean just having a chance to be at the house by myself and getting caught up on some stuff, putting the work into my channel that I want to get done. I'll be hopefully updating the spreadsheet, but also getting started on my closer look at the Perth Mint Lunar Series. That's something that I really want to do. I'm excited for this fall's release. I actually can't wait. There's a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about in relation to that. I'll be teasing that a little bit in this video, but that's the plans for the future. It's funny when you put a video out, you never know what the response is going to be. The video that I'm most proud of that I've ever done is my inflation video, and that was titled "The Rapidly Declining Value of the $100 Bill." And that actually hasn't really gotten that many views in relation to some of my other videos. But that's the one I'm most proud of. That's the one that I honestly think is the best video that I've done. Other times you put a video out thinking that it's fairly innocent and you get a pretty wild response from it. And that was kind of the case yesterday. I made a silly little comment that, I was kind of poking fun at myself about not showing my face. And it kind of poked the hornet's nest a little bit. So let me just clarify that. I am absolutely 100% not opposed to meeting any YouTubers. In fact, I'm pretty confident at some point it will happen. Whether it's a YouTube meetup. I mean, I've read somewhere that they do these things. Maybe there'll be a New England meetup or an upstate New York meetup. Maybe there'll be one in Florida when I'm down in Florida. It's not about, not meeting people or not showing you guys my face. The concern is if I put my face on YouTube, then, all it takes is one person in your area recognizing you, and, suddenly then you're kind of putting your family at risk, right? And that's just not worth it to me. I saw what Josh Vandermeulen went through, where he was getting harassing phone calls at home. I tell you what, honestly, guys, I start getting harassing phone calls, from people because of YouTube, and my wife will pull the plug on this thing so quick, it'll just be done. That's just not worth it to me. I'm not sure. I know you guys are curious as to what I look like, and that's really all it is just a curiosity. And like I said, at some point there will be a YouTube meetup, and I don't really know what else to say about it. I did have somebody PM me when my channel first started to grow. I think I was around 500 subs. And his channel was a former pretty big silver channel. He had 1,000 subscribers. And and he warned me. He said, you have to be careful. You may not realize this, but the silver community eats their own. Okay, and I kind of said, well, okay. I kind of nodded and said, yeah, okay. I'll take your advice. And it is true to a point. For some reason, at some point, and I'm not sure exactly why, silver investors do turn on themselves. And there's a lot of friendly fire there. And I've never really understood it. I know that people are very adamant that there's only one way to invest in silver. And I honestly think that's just, beyond wrong. Well, actually, somebody left a comment on one of my other videos, and he's spot on. The only wrong way to stack is to not stack. But there's a lot of people that are just determined that there is only one way to do this. Just one way. And if you do it any other way, you are just wrong. And what I've tried to kind of convey is that there's just more than one way to do this. That our end goals are really all the same. To accumulate as much silver as we can. Whether you want to convert it to dollars, whether you want it ounces, whether you want your stack to grow on its own, however you want to do it, our goals are the same. Okay? And I would like my stack to be large, diverse, and I'd like it to grow on its own. If I were stacking silver in 2008, 2009, and 2010, okay, and I didn't have some '08 kookaburras, lunar coins, some '09 kookaburras and lunar coins in 2010, I would be kicking myself. Because the price of silver has pretty much been flat for that time. Yeah, it's gone up and it's come back down. It's done a round trip. But it's been flat for that duration. Okay? And yet, an '08 kookaburra can get you $100 on eBay all day, every day. Okay, a 2010 Tiger can get you $80 on eBay all day, every day. If I didn't have some of those in my stack, and I was just sitting there looking at a bunch of generic APMEX rounds, I would be kicking myself. Kicking myself. That it was right there in front of me, I didn't take advantage of it. In 2011, I literally just started when people were, celebrating the arrival of their 2011 25th anniversary American Eagle sets that they were selling for hundreds on eBay. Actually, in some cases it was even beyond that. It was, like $1,500 for something that they only spent. I can't remember the number on it, but it was a very low number. And at the time, I was like, "Holy cow! That's a home run." And you know what? Because we're in the game, whenever something gets released, we're here. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger or not. And you can't just be caught up in the price when it's released. It's not just the price in relation to silver. It's what is the demand going to be down the road? What is the potential here? Just to give you an example, okay? The Bruins are in the Stanley Cup, right? So right now, a Bruins Stanley Cup ticket costs one heck of a lot more than a normal hockey ticket. It's a premium ticket. But what is the secondary market? I don't care if you have to spend $400 for a ticket. If you can end up selling it for $800, you made money. Versus a Thursday night against Vancouver in March. There's a lot of opportunities with silver that are just beyond the spot price. Okay, I had a long conversation with Argent Agent yesterday. And he was, first of all, I'm really glad that he decided to kind of hang out with us. Okay, here's a pretty large bullion dealer, somebody that's been in it his whole life and deals with buying and selling it and has a dealer's perspective. Okay, and I don't want to steal any thunder from him because I'm sure at some point he's going to be talking about this stuff. But one of the things that he told me was the spot price doesn't matter. Okay, and I'm going to twist that a little bit and turn it into think like a dealer. The spot price doesn't matter. Do you think APMEX could care less what the price of silver is? No, they make money on spreads. At some point, there's a lot of ridicule about silver because it's not a yielding asset. I disagree. It most certainly is a yielding asset. Okay, that yield is collector's premium. Your dividend, if you were smart enough to buy the 2008 Kookaburras, is the collector's premium. And that dividend was basically a 400% dividend. You just kind of have to understand, as we're in the game, there are opportunities all around us all the time. And it's up to you whether or not you want to pull the trigger on it. Right now, there's a stock horse coin. There's a 10,000 minted. Chris Silver has a video on it. Now, the problem is, I don't know how to get my hands on some. There's no U.S. dealer that has any. But I can promise you, mark my words, however you want to do it. Yeah, they're selling it for $50 out of the box, and that's expensive relative to silver. I can guarantee you, with a 10,000 mintage, first in a series, and the stock horse is going to be a huge coin. I just don't know how to get a hold of any. Yeah, it's an expensive coin relative to the $21 spot price. Who cares? The thing that you should be focusing on is, what are people going to be willing to pay for that? Would they be willing to pay more for 2 APMEX rounds or 1 stock horse coin in a year and a half? I know where my money is. But you know what? There's more than one way to skin a cat. This is just kind of the way I look at it. I want my stack to grow by itself once I hit about 2,500 ounces. Literally, I'll literally go the last 500 ounces will be my stack working as hard as I do, and I'll be focusing on other things. And the way that I'll do that is by getting ahead of some of these semi-numismatic coins. And I'll be selling them and flipping them for more ounces. That's the plan down the road. I will be having my stack work as hard as I do. And yep, there will be a whole video on that as soon as my Perth Mint lunar horses come. Trust me on that one. My point is, my stack will be working as hard as I do. Is it a different way of looking at it? Absolutely. For those of you guys that literally want to just do low premium stuff, have at it. I don't care. It's a different way of doing it. That's fine. And I'm certainly not going to judge you for how you do it. I'm trying to keep this a positive experience. I'm trying to make it fun. I'm not going to yell at a guy for buying a panda. It just doesn't make sense to me. Try to demoralize a young investor. It doesn't make sense to take that approach. There's no reason for friendly fire within the community. Here's the Big Time Rush reference. Big Time Rush is a silly show on Nickelodeon. It's kind of like a modern day Monkeys. Okay, but my kids are way into it. And on a recent episode, one of the guys was really sensitive to negative comments they were making about him. They were reading the band's message boards. And the other 3 guys were completely oblivious to the negativity. So at a certain point in the episode, the one guy that was sensitive to it was like, "Aren't you guys reading what they're writing about us? This is awful." And the other 3 were like, "We don't care about what that 1 or 2 people say. We care about the other 99 that are, saying really nice things. That's what really means something to us. We don't care about the, extreme minority with a negative view." And it's really the same thing. Yes, I'm taking life lessons from an episode of Big Time Rush. The point is, there's so much positivity that I can't worry about somebody thumbing down my videos. I can't worry about a couple of negative voices that, make accusations about me that are completely unfounded. You can't. That's not where the focus is here. And I have to make sure that, I keep my eye on what really matters. There's one more point I wanted to make, but this is going 15 minutes now. So I guess I'll leave it at that. But those are my random thoughts.